Scott National Firefit Championships are back. Defending champion Central York's Amber Bowman leads the women's standings once again. And Ian Van Reenen from Oakville is top dog in the men's event. All eyes are on the clock after last year's world record-winning time. We're in the nation's capital as Canada's fittest and fastest firefighters fly the flag once more. The 2017 Firefit Championships, presented by 3M Scott Safety. Trusted partners, innovative solutions, a safer world. We're at the Aviation and Space Museum in Ottawa, Ontario for this year's Scott National Firefit Championships. I'm Perry Solkowski. I'll be with you over the next hour in the company of the country's finest firefighters. The championships taking place this year at the same time as the National Firefighter Memorial Ceremony in downtown Ottawa. We've got over 300 firefighters in town from across the country, and none better than two athletes making this event their own, Amber Bowman and Ian Van Reenen. It's getting faster, more technical. My partner, Dale McRoberts, at the start line to set the scene.
Firefit Championships used to be an endurance event. Now it's about speed and technique. Now here's our business suit. We're wearing a 20-pound protective gear that we have bunker suit, boots, helmets, and we're wearing and breathing from a Scott X3 pack, which also weighs 20 pounds. Now, we're going to give you a snapshot of what firefighters do running into a building when you're coming out of it. We're going to start off by taking equipment up to the fire floor. We've got a 42-pound high-rise pack. We're going to load it on our shoulder, carry it up 6 stories, 60 steps to the top of this building. Once we're at the top, we need more equipment. We're going to lean out the window. On this rope is a 45-pound donut roll of hose. It simulates bringing more equipment up to the fire floor. We'll get it up all the way up there into the box. Now we're going to come down. We have to touch every step. It's important that we practice coming downstairs safe but fast. And when we come down to the bottom of the stairs now, we're going to continue on with the ground level of the course. But I'll tell you what, the Firefit Championships is getting faster all the time. These guys can do it in nearly 30 seconds.
Oh, hello. How are you?
Yes, just over 30 seconds from top to bottom of the stairs, and more, that opening phase is being seen as to where races can be won or lost. No nerves for Amber Bowman as she gets ready for the women's event. But first, some of the highlights from the rest of the day. In the over 55s, Ontario firefighter Steve Baker was the fastest, home in 1 minute, 52 seconds and change. But a close battle in the fire chiefs category. Yup, even the big guys do this for fun. Quinte West's Greg King in the red lane was best fire chief on the day. A fast time of just under 1 minute, 37, seeing off David Nickel from Gagetown, New Brunswick, who raced later in the day by 4 seconds to take that title. Reversing the outcome from last year when Nickel was champion, Blair Nason, who'd been drawn to race against King here in the yellow lane, finished in 1 minute, 43.56 to take the men's over 50s title. At the end, it was another stalwart Firefit fire chief, Corner Brook's Craig Harnham, on hand to help the new champion chief back on his feet. Always some great drama at this championship. The Firefit fatigue can set in, and here's an example. Joe Forbes, the pride of Wellington North, loses his balance, gets up quick enough to cross the finish line. Jimmy Evansky is right there with him, and that time could come back and be costly. Great work from one of our Ottawa organizers, Jimmy Evansky. On now to the women's event, and it was Lindsay Ingram from Winnipeg claiming the over 40s title, dipping well below the 3-minute mark for her first Firefit age group national crown. When we come back, it's the fastest women's Firefit qualifiers. Vanessa Gilbert, one of those trying to stop Amber Bowman from claiming championship number 6. Welcome back to the National Space and Aviation Museum in Ottawa for this year's Scott Firefit National Championships. We are getting ready for the finale of the women's event with the fastest two firefighters on the planet, Olivia Walker and Amber Bowman, poised to race head-to-head in what should be a classic. But Kylie Balla and Vanessa Gilbert might have something to say about the outcome. They race next, and joining me now for all the action is Dale McRoberts. Dale, there is Mike Gilbert, a former national champion, getting set to watch his wife, Vanessa. He's also the coach as we get set, and this one is underway.
And here's Vanessa going up on the red side. She is also a past national champion. She won our championships in Quinte West in 2008. She's made a comeback, and this is her first year of racing since then.
We always talk about how the first element, getting up the stairs, can be where races are won and lost. This one appears to be close, but Vanessa with the early lead.
And she's a veteran competitor. Kylie from Sydney, Nova Scotia, she's been competing for a couple of years. She's already up there with these veterans, so this should be a good race. Pulling the donut roll, 45 pounds. It has to go up and over, and it has to go into and remain in the box, or on the box. Now it's coming down the stairs. 60 steps to this tower. They must touch every step, or it would be a 2-second penalty. As we get onto the force machine now, it takes 500 pounds of force to move this. The competitors hit until they see a green mark, then that mallet must go on and remain on the mat before they're off on the run.
Making sure she is penalty free there in the red lane is Vanessa Gilbert, having a nice smooth one right now in Ottawa.
And she hasn't run for almost 10 years, but she's well coached, and she's been here before, so let's see how strong she finishes. Knocking down the target, you have to close the bail. Now she's off to rescue Randy. 175 pounds, they must drag it backwards 100 feet.
This is where fatigue can sit in. You see Vanessa gets a great grip on it, has the advantage of seeing the competition as Kylie now picks up her dummy, and it's a matter of does she have the speed and the energy to catch Vanessa Gilbert in the red lane.
And Kylie's had several races this year, so she's right where she should be. She needs to keep her feet moving. You see, she's slowly but surely catching up to Vanessa. Can she catch her?
She is catching so often. This is where fatigue fits in. Vanessa Gilbert, the experience, just knows she's a few feet away. Just stay upright. The clock, is she across the line? She's got to drag it across. She hasn't yet. And what will be the official ruling? Who wins this one?
And I can see now the official, Peter Reed, is motioning the rescue mannequin's feet must completely cross the blue line to stop the clock. So she had a great run going, but you've got to finish across the line.
Heartbreak for Vanessa Gilbert. You can see her husband watching on. Did that dummy go across the time? She has the lead. She loses it. She's across the line, but the dummy is not. And then once she drops it, Dale, it looks like it's just too tough to pick up. As you can see clearly there, just using the chin. And on the right side, boy, is that a photo finish. Kylie Balla does get the win from Sydney, Nova Scotia. As thrilling a finish as you can find in Firefit competition. All right, let's move on. The ladies continue on. Amber Bowman getting set to go up against Olivia Walker, who is in the yellow course. Bowman is the lady to beat in this competition.
She's our 5-time national champion, and she's taking on Olivia Walker. They're the only two females who've ever gone under 2 minutes. So they've raced several times this year. This is the last one of the year. Let's see how it goes. So as they go up the stairs, Amber, as I say, she's been racing several times this year, been racing for several years. Olivia Walker, she's only been doing this for a couple of years. Her technique, go out as fast and as hard as she can.
Well, she's doing exactly that right now. We say that the event can be won or lost, but it is a little bit of a lead early for the challenger, Olivia Walker, trying to dethrone the champion.
And watch her rope pull. She used to be a roofer, so she's got great grip strength. And look at that, up and over. There you go. She's right where she wants to be, down the stairs. Now Amber is going to try and catch her.
Walker's strategy, get out first, get down the stairs first, and then see how long she can hang on without Amber Bowman catching up to her. So far, so good, but now the chase will begin.
And that's right, Perry. A lot of this is you've only got so much fuel in the tank. You've got to find a pace to give yourself your best time. Do you go faster at the start? Do you try and catch up? Olivia was going as fast as she could in the start. Now Amber says, I'm kicking it into high gear right now.
And Dale, like any other competition where there are different elements, there's probably different disciplines of this event where someone is faster, be it something like this with the pull.
There you go. This is legs right here. Amber works on her legs and her speed, and look at that. They're just about dead heat right here. Now, an important aspect is the technique of picking up a mannequin. Bend it up, get a good grip, and start taking off. You see how Amber is taking off a couple steps ahead? It may be tough to catch her.
Well, we saw what happened in that last finish. Anything can happen as they're dragging the dummy across, but it is our 5-time defending champion, Amber Bowman, with the lead. She has been here before. Tough to think that she will falter in the final few steps. Strong, confident, looking at the clock. It looks like she will be under 2 minutes once again. Amber Bowman coming across and does, and 1:59.45. She continues to rule things in Firefit.
And Olivia Walker pushing her all the way, getting across the finish line. Good race for her.
Amber Bowman, 6 straight national titles. The queen of Firefit in Ottawa.
And as you can see, a crucial point right here, getting to the mannequin, get your grip, stand up, and then start moving. She gets at it really quickly. And it's going to be tough to catch her now because once you've got to this point, you've got 100 feet. That rescue mannequin, 175 pounds. And these athletes are giving it their all. You know, once again, great camaraderie here, and it means a lot to work this hard. Hopefully it's worth it.
She is the champ. Another successful day. Great competition. Amber Bowman, 6 consecutive titles. Pride of Central York, the only competitor under 2 minutes. Amber Bowman victorious, but she was pushed by Olivia Walker.
Me and Olivia raced last year in the finals as well. Super strong competitor. She has strong tower. Absolutely a beast on that tower. So I was just trying to stay within, I call it striking distance, so that I could have a strong back half and really push my conditioning. You know, I'm not getting any younger, but to be honest, I had a guy in my crew that got in a serious motorcycle accident a year ago, and Mike Scott, this one was for you, buddy.
Lots of motivation for Amber Bowman, and she is in a class of her own, Dale.
And all the years of training before she won her nationals, and the Amber Bowman as she walks away now with her 6th title, that's an accomplishment that's going to be hard to beat.
6 straight for Amber Bowman. When we come back, our friends from the north.
The biggest event we've been to had 40, 50 people, like competitors, so this is much bigger.
Welcome back to Ottawa for the 2017 Scott National Firefit Championships, the annual get-together for Canada's Firefit firefighters. And no team had traveled further to get here than these guys representing the Yukon, which if you draw a straight line direct from Ottawa, well over 4,000 kilometers away. Yukon firefighters are still new to this sport, and this was their first ever nationals. A steep learning curve, but a great opportunity to learn from the best.
It's really hard, but it's also really fun, and it's a really amazing competition. There's a great family atmosphere, and everybody's friends and giving tips, which is awesome.
A strong women's contingent featuring Kelsey Olsen, Elizabeth Boyd, and Megan Coyne, out setting new personal bests and reveling in the big time.
I was really happy with my race today. I cut a minute off my race from Thursday, and was really happy with it. Yeah.
It was a similar story for the Yukon men, with fire department volunteer Sean Cook shaving 6 seconds off his previous best time. It's only his 3rd year in the sport, but he's already got the bug and knows what it takes to get even faster.
Toughest 2 minutes in sports. can't focus on anything else while you're running. Just by the end, you just hit the mat, and then you can look around and hear the crowd and stuff. But other than that, it's just tunnel vision. Yeah, there's nothing you can feel but pain in the legs and the arms.
But the step up to the big time makes it all worthwhile.
Oh, it's awesome. Like, the biggest event we've been to had 40, 50 people, like competitors, so this is much bigger. And it's great, like all the world record holders coming and giving us tips. It's fun.
Now they've got the taste. The next step, obviously, is bringing a Firefit event up to the Yukon.
That would be so amazing. We could have so many people more involved that weren't able to travel with us but could compete if it was in our city, and we could have the whole town come out and watch and cheer us on, which would be amazing to have everyone standing behind us and working with us.
We've got a great group of volunteers, not just the fire service up there, but the medics and lots of volunteers doing everything up there, so it'd be a great event, and to have lots of these guys come up would be pretty phenomenal.
So now we are getting down to the main event. Graham McKenzie and Ian Van Reenen are the fastest qualifiers once again, and they're both ready for the battle ahead.
Everything's always changing, right? So you just try to overcome the changes and prepare as best you can for the year coming. So this course, as you can probably notice from everyone racing, there's a slight incline on the dummy drag, so the hardest part of the course at the end. It's making it a little harder for everybody, so it's going to be harder to go under a time we did last year, but we'll try our best.
I would say today is perfect for racing, so weather shouldn't be any excuse, and we'll just go as fast as we can, see where the chips fall.
The 2017 Firefit Championships, presented by 3M Scott Safety. Trusted partners, innovative solutions, a safer world. Welcome back to the Scott Firefit Championships in Ottawa as we get set for the men's races, and we should have some great times here. First on the yellow course, Adrian Bent up against Eric Einigal from Fort McMurray, Alberta, the two Alberta boys.
Adrian Bent in the yellow lane. He used to compete with the Department of National Defense. Now he's on the Edmonton Fire Department. So an all Alberta heat.
Dale, do the weights change at all from what we've seen as far as the women's race to this?
Absolutely not. This is one course for everyone. 45 pounds of the donut roll is what they hoist. A 42 high rise pack. You see it has to go into or on that box. Same weight, same work.
Look at the rhythm they both have. Bent in the yellow, Einigal on the red course, both flying down the stairs.
And at the Edmonton department, they've got a training tower, so they are usually really good at coming down these stairs. Eric Einigal, he's been traveling all across the country. He came out here a week early, so he's in prime shape.
If you placed a t-shirt order,
that hammer has to go down on the mat. Now they're racing 140 feet serpentine around those hydrants before they get to that Angus high combat hose. They're going to drag it 75 feet and knock down the target.
They have not slowed down. Racing is the key word. These guys in full sprint.
Adrian Bent, what a pace he's on right now. From Edmonton, and here comes Eric. They both got Rescue Randy up 100 feet backwards.
Adrian Bent has the lead. Yellow lane can see his competitor coming. This is where fatigue can set in. We've got another great finish here.
What a push from Eric. Crossing the line, a personal best, 121.
From behind, Eric Einigal of Fort McMurray wins it at the finish line.
You see how tough it is at the finish. You've got to get that mannequin across the blue line. Adrian, he's fallen and the mannequin is on his legs. He's still working to get it across.
Good shot, man. You did.
Hey, you see the replay, it looks like the grip that Adrian has just starting to lose it and trying to hang on, and that's where Eric comes across and takes it across the finish line.
Muscular endurance all the way. Eric Einigal taking it home, but you're right. Look at Adrian starting to lose the grip, and that's where it goes down.
Next event, Zach Plowman of Calgary up against Sean Henderson of Oakville. It's not about the individual races either, it's also about the team event.
tends to be a real good battle right now between Kamloops, Edmonton, Fort Mac, and Oakville. So with 4 deep teams like that, you just know you've got to be there on game day if you want your team to win. This is a pinnacle for us. In my opinion, it's probably the hardest title to obtain in Scott Firefit is the team title. So to hoist that trophy and then to have it for the whole year, it's been pretty special.
Yeah, it is special to win that team event, and it all starts with lining up and putting up a good race time, and this should be a good one. Plowman in yellow, Henderson on the red course.
2 of our teams that are competing for that team championship. Calgary on the yellow lane with Zach Plowman. They were our host last year at the Spruce Meadows event. And the team, the defending champion, Oakville, Ontario. Into the box. Henny's down the tower at... You see that miss from Zach Plowman. It's a 2-second penalty if it does not go into or on the box. That's for safety purposes.
Interesting to see if he noticed that. They are so quick up there, but 2 seconds in this type of competition with the level so high might be very difficult to make up.
And as we race down here, Henny is the captain of that Oakville team, been racing for years, but Zach Plowman, he's trying to get the Calgary team into the hunt for the medals. As we get to the target, once you get to the doorway, that back on track target that he had to hit, you must knock it down. So he took a couple of shots at it, and then it's off to rescue Randy. Going at full speed, you've got to do everything correct.
Well, we've seen so many races today end, but look at the grip there. Sean Henderson, the veteran, full grip, knows that he's getting close to the finish line, can see his competition and knows he has the lead and can put up a great time for Oakville.
Our referee, Peter Reed, right there. He gets the backup time, crosses the line in 1:23. Now Zach Plowman as he heads to the finish.
Henderson absolutely exhausted, and there you see the time. It'd be 1:35.41 for Plowman. Just a tough day, pure exhaustion, and for Zach Plowman, he can race so much faster, but he knows the mistake, Dale, came very early for him.
And when you're racing at full speed, you can try and get that donut roll in on the exact, it hits the edge, bounces off, 2-second penalty. You can imagine if that donut roll had fallen off. That's why we have the penalty. And down on the course, you've got to knock over that target and close the bail. So it cost him some seconds there, but he keeps his head down and charges on.
Next up, Anthony Story in the yellow course from Fredericton, New Brunswick. Bo Hobbs, Toronto, Ontario, set to go racing on the red.
Boy, this is one I've been waiting to see. A rookie competitor this year, Anthony from Fredericton. The first time I saw him race, I said he's a bull in a china shop. He's all over the course, but he's smoothed things out. Now he's at the National Championships, running up against Toronto's Bo Hobbs. Anthony's Story, once again, that 42-pound high-rise pack into or on the box. You know what has to go in there. Now watch this donut roll pull. That has to go into or on the box, all part of this technique that happens so fast. Good job. Now they're down the stairs, 60 steps, and they have to touch every step. You see, we have our referees following them. It would be a 2-second penalty if they miss a step.
Hey, these are athletes, they train for this moment, and when you're in this environment for the first time, there has to be a little bit of nerves, but right now, Anthony Story, racing in the yellow, is showing very little of those effects on the big stage here in Ottawa.
And Bo Hobbs, a veteran competitor, Anthony Story, once again, they hosted an event in Fredericton, so he's had a couple of races under his belt, but this is his rookie year, and what a great season he's having. Targets down to the mannequin. Now we get our quick pickup. There we go. We should have a great finish here.
We've had wonderful finishes. This might be the closest race as they go down to that finish line. It's Anthony Story in the yellow, Bo Hobbs in the red. Who will it be?
And as we get to the finish, boy, this is going to be as close as they can get. Watch the feet across the blue line.
Who's got the win? We have to see. Story near the end seemed to be picking up paces. But did Hobbs finish and hold him off? A great battle for these two. One of the best races we have seen here at Firefit in Ottawa. And just look how it came down to the final steps.
Peter Reed refereeing the red side. Ray Ellis on the yellow side. They're veteran competitors, and they're trying to keep them in a straight line so there are no mistakes. And then we watch the clock. It comes down to hundredths.
Unbelievable finish. Bo Hobbs, by 1/100th of a second, hangs on to beat Anthony Story in simply a race, Dale, that can't get any closer. There's the time to beat so far. Eric Einikel has it as we continue. Firefit National Championships in Ottawa. And welcome back to the Scott Firefit Championships at Canada's Aviation and Space Museum. Wonderful host for this 2017 National Championships. More races ahead. On the men's side, Derek Graff of Thompson, Manitoba. In the red lane, he will face Jordan King of Edmonton, Alberta.
And you get a chance to see the Manitoba provincial champion on the yellow side.
Go get it, buddy. Go get it, Jordan.
Taking on a rival of his, Jordan King from Edmonton.
Go!
You can hear the cheering for Jordan, telling him to go get it, and boy, is he ever. Both these gentlemen flying up the stairs.
And now their teammates are getting in this because, once again, Edmonton is always one of the top teams, so they are really pushing each other to come away with a higher medal. Awesome pulls up at the top there. Derek Graff over first. Jordan King down the stairs. Now watch this, Jordan King. Because they have a practice tower, watch his feet. He's one of the fastest out of the tower.
Oh, amazing footwork made up. A couple of seconds it seemed like, and now they go to the next element.
And once again, that force machine, 500 pounds of force. They're doing all these things, trying to run as fast as they can. It's unbelievable. They're wearing a 20-pound bunker suit, another 20-pound air pack, and they're racing.
We have seen so many incredible finishes, and it looks like Graff and King will be giving us another one here.
Knocking down that back on track target, meeting at the mannequin. Now we watch the last 100 feet drag.
Dummy drag is where so much has changed, but look at this. This is the closest we have seen so far in Ottawa. Will Graff be able to come back? King with the lead in the red lane. They're virtually step for step. Who will it be? Look at the times. They'll be great. And again, 120 on one side, 120 on the other. It comes down to tenths, if not 100ths of a second. The race has been unbelievable. The winner, Jordan King, by 2/100ths of a second. Incredible Firefit competition today in Ottawa.
And you get these great performances when you have this great atmosphere. Our hosts, Denny Charbonneau and Ivan Brown, they've worked continuously on this event. And look what they're bringing out in these competitors. Great times.
The team event looks like this thus far with 8 races remaining. Toronto has a slight lead. Fort McMurray, Alberta is there. Kamloops sitting right now in 3rd spot. With that great race, winning by 2/100ths of a second. Jordan King now in 1st place. So that is what Darren Van Zandbergen and Brad Johnson have to shoot for as they get set to race.
And here's a couple of categories we're always looking at. Darren Van Zandbergen is one of our top over 40 competitors, and top in the over 45, Brad Johnston from Darlington Nuclear. Boy, there's a lot of firefighters going up the tower right now, 2 of our largest competitors. Once again, 60 steps, taking up that 42-pound high-rise pack. A lot of work here. They deposit it into the box. Now watch these big pulls, both these guys. Huge pulls on the rope. Darren up and over first. Now coming down these stairs, once again, big guys doing this work here. It's all speed and technique now. We talked about that earlier, that these guys are going full tilt, and they've got to do all of these things perfectly. Watch after the force machine hammers down exactly in that spot, and then we are off and running.
2 veterans understand what it takes, where they have to conserve energy. Johnston on the red course, Van Zandbergen in the yellow with the lead.
And we have these age categories, but also remember, Darren Van Zandbergen, boy, he's on that top Oakville team. They need him to have a fast run to get a good team time.
Dummy drag has been so incredibly exciting this day. There's no way we've had 1/100ths, 2/100ths as the difference. It looks like this one will indeed play out where the leader wins it, and that's exactly it. 1:22.07 the time for Darren Van Zandbergen.
And that's his specialty. When they run the relay, he usually pulls the dummy. He's a big guy doing a lot of work there. Brad Johnston also pushing it, so they're both under 130.
Boy, there's a look of pure power as Darren makes his way to the back on track target.
Knocks down the target and then off to rescue Randy. The final leg of this event. 175 pounds. Get it up. Get that good grip so you don't lose it. Darren always finishes strong.
King has the fastest time, 1:20.03. That's what they're chasing here at the National Firefit Championships in Ottawa. And welcome back to the Scott Firefit Championships. It has been an incredible day of racing. Team Championship's so important that they have 5 racers on the team. They take the top 3 times. Last time we checked in, Oakville wasn't there, but you've seen how good some of their racers have done, and now they are in second place, encroaching by about 6 seconds behind Toronto. So Ryan Hallam of Fredericton getting set to go up against Chris Greasley of Edmonton, themselves and for their teams. What kind of times can they put up on this great course?
And as you saw with the team times, you also have to compete at a regional event to get to this national championships. And Ryan Hallam was a host of our New Brunswick event. It was Fredericton's 200th anniversary. One of our top competitors for a long time, Ryan Hallam. And as we get up to the top, you see how their hands are moving so fast. Look at the troubles Chris is having with his rope. And stuck at the railing. Boy, a lot of technique and trying to do it as fast as you can. That's what racing at this level brings out.
Chris Greasley in the red, Ryan Hallam racing on the yellow course. Fairly even as they come down the stairs.
And Ryan Hallam always in the medals in the individual event. And Fredericton with a good team. We know Edmonton has a good team time. So keep your eye on this race. Let's see how they play out. 75 feet with that Angus High Combat hose. Knocking down the target. Now here comes the grueling dummy drag, 100 feet.
So important. We've seen these races change in this final element of it. The grip has to be good. Right through the finish line where the laser timing is there to make sure, and it looks like everything should be okay. Don't know how close this one will be. Ryan Hallam so strong, just under the 120 mark. Did he get there in a strong, strong race?
1:20.57 for Ryan Hallam. He'll be happy with that.
Ryan Hallam looking like, oh, okay, yeah, that was tough, but, you know, we've seen more exhaustion. Well, look over at the competition. Chris Greasley of Edmonton has left it all out there for him.
And at this level, you're trying to get your best time. You have to do a lot of work right. Well, you can see Chris having trouble on his rope pull. He had a couple of missed pulls. The donut roll got caught on the railing. You can't go back. You just got to keep your head down and keep racing.
Like anything else, these guys go, they practice so much. They want the perfect race. And if you have that little hiccup, then it becomes the mental challenge as well. Great racing ahead as we get set for Chris Crozier of Stratford, Ontario. He'll be in the red. Matthew Baca of Oshawa will be racing in the yellow lane.
And once again, Matt Baca was a host of our Oshawa event, well known around the circuit. There's something we're going to keep an eye on. When you pick up that high-rise pack, it has to be in contact with the ground. So we'll see if the referee called a penalty on that one. Chris Crozier from Stratford, Ontario, up fast. And he's racing against a veteran, Matt Baca. And as they pull that donut roll, see those big pulls into the box at the same time. Boy, this is a great race coming down with 2 excellent competitors. Fast feet coming down the stairs. Now launch onto the force machine. They're trying to do this in 10 hits or less.
Boy, these two, as close as we've seen, they're almost in sync so far. Who's got the better speed with all that gear on and can make it to the next element?
And you can see on that force machine, it was short. You have to see a green mark or it's a 2-second penalty. That's for Chris Crozier.
Yeah, that's a 2-second penalty in a race this tight. It may be tough for Chris Crozier in the red lane to make it up, but he does have the lead as they get set for the dummy drag. Can he make up that 2 seconds?
And he doesn't know he has that penalty yet, so he's still going as fast as he can. But this is where Matt Bacca likes to make a big push for the finish line.
Bacca making a push. Crozier, he looks like he might be the first to go under 120, but that 2-second penalty will hurt. 1:19.35. And Bacca comes across the line with a strong finish as well.
And Chris Crozier here is last year's Rookie of the Year. Unfortunately, when you have a 2-second penalty, you've got, it's at this level of the national championship, makes a big difference.
It is official too. Crozier will be unhappy. A little mistake. His official time now is 1:21.35, and here's why, Dale.
You can see that force machine beam has to go until you see green. It's 2 seconds per inch.
And there you see he was under 120. Whether that little swing would have made a difference, but a great run for Chris Crozier, Matthew Bacca as well, putting up some good times for their respective teams. Time to beat. King still has it, 1:20.03. Competition getting faster and fiercer. Time's getting quicker. Aaron McKinga, Shell Scotford, Alberta, Jonathan Betts, Gagetown, New Brunswick. They're set to go.
And Aaron McKinga has been traveling to a lot of our events this year. He loves to race. He's been all over Canada. He actually stayed at Jonathan Betts' bear hunting camp in Upper Miramichi. So they're great rivals, but great friends off the course. Here they go.
Well, undoubtedly, that is the beauty of Firefit. It's firefighters. They're all brothers. They all push each other. They all want to win, but in the end, they want it to be fair, fast, and see who can get across the line first.
And as much as these guys are competing against the clock, there's team categories, as we've mentioned. CFB Gagetown, one of the top teams. Jonathan Betts, one of the best coming down the stairs. That's why he's always in the medals. And Aaron McKinga from Shell Scotford, one of Alberta's best. Let's see who's off the force machine first. Slight lead for Jonathan.
We saw if you don't do the force machine right, it can cost you 2 seconds. Looks like everybody has been clean to this point, and a slight lead right now for Jonathan Betts on the red course.
And now the technique of running at full speed, knock down a small target with a blast of hose, and off to rescue Randy. So at the speed these guys are going, they still have to do everything perfect.
It's about individual time, it's about team time, and both these gentlemen putting up a good time. Jonathan Betts with the lead and looks strong, but you never know how this can finish. Aaron McKinga coming close, just a couple of steps behind. Will it be under 120? It looked to be a great time for Jonathan Betts. I think he was under the 120. That would be the first competitor to get that low in this competition in Ottawa. And he has broken 120. Great time of 1:19.44. He's the new leader, and he was clean all throughout, Dale.
And you can see his fast rope pulls. They've got that under control onto the force machine. Just like you said, Perry, they're making sure they get that last hit, so when they get to the finish line, that time counts.
Great run by Jonathan Betts, and as the day continues, the times get quicker. That's what's in store. Claude Belanger, Longueuil, Quebec, Fraser O'Neill up north in Fort McMurray, Alberta.
It's been a pretty good year. We went to a few competitions out west. I did all of them actually this year. I kind of went a little much, but it went pretty good for us. Just more time on the course helps. I hit a new PB, and I was really trying to search the last couple of years ago that sub 115 mark, and I did hit that goal in our home event. So it's pretty. I think those extra events did help out.
He has been busy racing. You know, Fraser O'Neill will be ready. Claude Belanger will be ready. Only one race left after this, so if they can post that time, this could be their championship.
That's right. They've been racing fast all year. Claude Belanger, he's up the stairs fast. He's the Quebec provincial champion. Has been in this hunt for the medals every one of the last 4 or 5 years. And Fraser O'Neill has had an awesome year, breaking 115, and he's poised to get into the medal hunt. He's got to catch up to Claude, though.
Belanger with a very good start to this. It's about speed, it's about execution, it's about being clean and maybe picking up one of those trophies that they run right by.
You betcha. Starter Dave McHugh is keeping an eye on that tower. And as we get off the force machines, it looks like Cloud with a slight lead. Fraser's really fast on the back half of the course. Let's see if he can catch him. Cloud's a big man powering through that. See, now they're dragging that hose. A lot of force there, about 300 pounds of force as you get near the target. Knock down the back on track, and let's see who's got the most left in their legs.
It will be a battle to the end. Who's got the energy? Who's fighting fatigue? Which Firefit competitor can get it done? It looks like Fraser O'Neill, all those races, he's taken over in the dummy drag. What kind of time will he beat? 1:19.44 is the best so far. He is 1:19.08. Top time right now with that race from Fraser O'Neill.
Great matchup of two of our top competitors, and that's what you need. You push each other, and it leads to the fastest time of the day.
Well, and now we see that's Claude Belanger, and we've seen it already once today. Another penalty for him.
If it's just short of that green mark, it's a 2-second penalty. We have to add 2 seconds to Cloud's time.
So that time added, that's added to team time. Everything going the right way for Fraser O'Neill. And again, in the last couple of steps, that's where he comes through and crosses the finish line first. So the team event, and there is only one race remaining. Fraser O'Neill helped the cause for Fort McMurray, Alberta. And Edmonton is right behind him, Wild Rose Province. O'Neill's got the fastest time, 1:19.08, as we get set for the finale here at the National Championships in Ottawa. Welcome back to Ottawa. Scott Firefit Championships. Perry Solkowski along with Dale McRoberts. Well, if you're fast, you're last. But will these final competitors be fast enough to win the national title? O'Neill has a time of 1:19.08. We'll see if that will change or hold up in the team event with this last race remaining. Fort McMurray has the lead slightly over Edmonton. And the two competitors who were in the final last year, Ian Van Reenen in red, Graham McKenzie in yellow, another rematch. They're two of the best. Will one of them leave with the championship today?
And Ian Van Reenen has done it 3 times previously. You saw a shot of Mike Gilbert. He's another competitor that had won the national championships 3 times. It's difficult to do. Can he get a 4th? He's taking on Graham McKenzie. He's been the stalwart of that Kamloops BC team who's won team titles, relay titles. He set the world record several times. If somebody's going to take on Ian Van Reenen, let's see Graham McKenzie.
East versus West, a great day of competition. These two expected to get to this point. They know what the time is to win, 1:19.08.
Well, these guys are going to be speed on speed right here. And big, powerful men moving as fast as this, out of the tower in under 30 seconds. They get to the rope here. Now you've got to get that rope up. Big pulls from Ian Van Reenen. Boy, he's making up some space already on Graham McKenzie.
Long arms, massive wingspan, just pulling it up. And he has the early lead flying down the stairs.
Well, he only goes one speed, and that's full out. And he's got the strength and the speed to do it. Graham McKenzie, big powerful man from Kamloops. He's going to chase him down after the force machine. Here comes the race.
We've seen mistakes on the force machine. I think both these competitors, veterans, they know that 2-second penalty would be the end of it. Everybody clean right now.
And after a full week of racing here in Ottawa at these national championships, it comes down to this last individual race. Right now, can Ian take it home for the 4th time?
1:19.08 is the time he must beat. It looks like he has the lead on Graham McKenzie. 1:19.08. It is Ian Van Reenen against the clock, and he's absolutely crushed it. 1:12.66. Another national title to Ian Van Reenen of Oakville.
And boy, he put it all out there. Look at him. He gets up, clicks off his air from that Scott Air Pack, walks around a little bit. Yeah, he's been training hard. And how about a 1:16 from Graham McKenzie? Graham McKenzie's the one who was lowering the world record, and Ian has been studying, watching, and racing against him for many years. Boy, he's taken it to another level.
Well, he has been at 24 years old. He almost sprints the course now, but he has learned from Graham and how to do this right, clean and fast. And that does a lot too, not only for his individual time, but he's just so clean you don't look at any mistakes when Van Reenen gets onto the course.
And at this level you have to. Both guys going at it quick. This is in slow motion. That's normal speed for some people. And as they get the donut roll up, it's in the box. They're on their way. They've been practicing this for years.
His time so low to get there, 1:12.66 compared to the other competition. He has brought Oakville into play as far as team standings are concerned. Van Reenen defending his title. Kamloops' Graham McKenzie still trying to find a way to topple the man from Oakville.
Yeah, Graham and I have raced like in the final race probably 3 or 4 years now. So it's great racing Graham, and he's really, really, really strong guy. I was able to pull ahead of him a little bit in the back half there, but yeah, Graham's a really good competitor. Sean and Darren had great times going into the final race, so I knew I had a little insurance on my round so I could go as fast as I could. This is my 4th year winning individual and 2nd year on team now. So yeah, it's awesome to be able to be a part of the team.
Great day for Oakville. First Darren Van Zandberg and then Ian Van Reenen's winning time, seeing them leapfrog Fort Mac to take the team title for another year.
Today, watching that Lowe's last 10 races, knowing who was running what and kind of knowing exactly what Darren and Ian had to run for us to maintain that title, it was a nail biter. All the years and all the hours away from family, all the hours of training, to come out here and lay it down when we needed to, and try to copy and follow in the footsteps of Kamloops winning multiple titles. That's where we want to be. In 5 years' time, we want to be a team that's won, 5-6 national championships.
And here we are with a rundown of all the different category winners. A shout out to Cyril Fraser, yet another national title in the over 60s. And great results as well for Greg King, Anthony Story, Aaron McKinga, Kelty May Nickel, and the fastest volunteer team time from North Perth. A final look at the star of the show, the Oakville team with Ian Van Reenen, once again the Scott Firefit national champion. Be sure to watch our Relay and X3 shows here on TSN. For Dale McRoberts and our fabulous volunteers and sponsors here in Ottawa, I'm Perry Solkowski. We'll see you next time.